And good morning. I'm Cheryl Casoni. I'm in for Maria Bartiromo. It is Thursday. It is July 6th. It's 8 a.m. Eastern Time here on the East Coast. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen arriving in Beijing this morning for a multi-day visit aimed at improving U.S.-China relations. Trip comes days after China restricted exports on two widely used rare metals, germanium and gallium. Joining me now, Texas Congressman Roger Williams. He's a member of the Financial Services Committee and chairman of the Small Business Committee. Sir, it's great to see you as always. Congressman, I do want to start. Yeah, let's start with Janet Yellen. I think the big question mark is here. According to Treasury and what we know so far, this is a trip to open up the lines of communication, meet some new officials there, her counterparts in China. But you've also got the Chinese that are just now restricting exports, importing to us of these minerals, and then there's talk about other restrictions that can be coming from the Chinese. It's a tit for tat. It is a fight. Well, they laid this down right before Yellen got on the plane.
Yeah, I mean, they totally control the Biden administration. They control the process. I wish she was back over here in America. Walking down Main Street, America, talking to small businesses and telling small businesses and banks and so forth how to comply with some of the regulations she's putting out there, which she won't talk about. So I wish she was really here, quite frankly, and she's going to end up looking like a pawn from the Chinese government. So I would say, Ms. Yellen, get back to America, get on Main Street, help our economy, get it going again so we can compete with the Chinese and we can control the world process and not be controlled by it.
One of the things that I think this tit for tat is coming from the United States because the Biden administration is restricting the export of our AI chips. And they're worried about these chips getting into, say, with the Chinese military. And then they've been obviously famous or infamous, whatever the word is, for the last 20 years of stealing our technology. So if we're not taking a tough enough stance on China now, what's going to change?
Well, I mean, what's going to change is they're going to control more and more of what our assets are, our intellectual property and so forth. We need to get firm with them. President Trump was very firm with them on all the issues, and quite frankly, they backed down. So we got to have strength from Washington. We got to have a strong economy, and to talk to the Chinese about trade and about economy and so forth, we have to have our own economy in line. We have to have our own strong Main Street business and production and building things over here before we can talk about controlling the Chinese and making them listen. They know now that we're dealing from a stage of weakness, and just shows that she's over there now, and she's not going to appear to be strong. And like I say, I wish she was back here walking on Main Street helping small businesses.
Congressman, back here at home, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre telling reporters yesterday that Americans need to hear that Bidenomics is working for them. Listen to this.
When people asked us why we're talking about Bidenomics now, because we understand that the American people need to hear from us directly what we have been able to do the last 2 years, how historic it has been. We understand that some people just don't feel it quite yet.
So President Biden is going to be touting his policies in South Carolina today. So he is going to be getting out of the White House. His cabinet is doing the real traveling. They're going across the country over the next 2 days. Pete Buttigieg, Javier Becerra, Deb Haaland, Vice President Harris is going to Arizona, not to the border, by the way, she's going to Phoenix. Yeah. And then you've got this new Fox News poll that finds the American people are not buying what they're selling. 60% of voters disapprove of President Biden when it comes to the economy. How much trouble is he in for 2024?
Well, I think he's in a huge amount of trouble. I mean, look at Main Street. What is he going to tout? Is he going to tout high interest rates, high inflation, can't hire anybody, no supply chain? That's what he's going to tout. And Americans understand that, and small businesses understand that. I'm a Main Street America guy. I own a business, been in business 52 years. This is as bad as I've ever seen it. So if he's going to tout that, it's a non-winner, but it also shows how out of touch they are with no business people in this administration, and how out of touch they are with people that are trying to make payroll and do business. Trying to borrow money for payroll from a bank is even harder. The regulations that they're putting on Main Street's unbelievable. You've seen it, Cheryl. Yeah. There's $300 billion worth of regulations put on Main Street America, 200 million man hours to deal with it. So you're hiring compliance officers before you're hiring loan officers, salespeople, or whatever. So if he's going to tout that, it's a loser and it's a joke.
Congressman, how do you talk about Main Street to the nation? You know, how do you paint that picture so you actually talk about the high credit card bills, you know, the effect of inflation, the high cost now of just the daily, you know, grocery trip? How do you talk about that?
Well, hey, I don't know how he's going to talk about it. How I talk about it is Main Street suffering, small business owners suffering. They're not hiring people. Interest rates, we all know, in a family or in a business, chew away all your assets, all your profits. Interest rates are high, inflation's high. So the bottom line is the cost of goods sold is what people are seeing in the grocery stores, and they're buying an automobile. If they try to buy a house, they just can't afford it anymore because these high interest rates, and we're doing nothing about it. We continue to borrow money. We print money, we borrow money. They're out of touch. They just don't understand how Main Street works. And most of, 75% of the payroll, 75% of the workforce is generated by small businesses. And when you can't grow and you can't take risk, there's a real problem. But I hope he does tout that. It's a losing message.
Well, I'm glad you brought up small business because the SBA, the Inspector General, found fraudsters potentially stole, get this, $200 billion in COVID relief funds that was meant for struggling small businesses. This is offensive, and that's a kind word for the amount of money that may have been taken.
Well, it's horrible, and as chair of the Small Business Committee, we oversee the SBA, and you're exactly right, $200 billion in misappropriated funds that could have gone to a small business to keep a business open, to hire more people. And we're going to get in the middle of it. We're going to have a hearing when we get back, and we've invited Inspector General Ware, who uncovered all this fraud, to be there. And we've also asked Chairman Guzman, and she has turned us down. She does not want to come to the hearing. She does not want to stand before the American people. Help us find this money. We're going to find the money, but it's in the hands of fraudulent people, people that cheated, people that lied, no guardrails. So the SBA's got a real problem. We're going to address it.
Yeah, this has got to be the ultimate clawback, and I think a huge priority to try and at least bring these people to justice. It's just amazing what has happened. Congressman Roger Williams, it's always good to have you on the show, Congressman.
Thank you, Cheryl.
All right, good to see you.